first, let's talk about how to find the right nursing school. I get this question a lot, right? So the first question is, how long will the program take? So that's something that you need to know. As you're searching for the nursing school, you need to know, are you in this for a year? Are you in this for 4 years? Because that's the max, right? So if it's a year, it's possibly going to be an LPN school. If it's 18 to 24 months, just about 2 years, it can be an accelerated RN program, or it can be a 2-year RN program, right? If it's 4 years, then it most probably will be a bachelor's in nursing. The accelerated program can be a bachelor's as well, but it's super intense, so be aware of that. And you also have the 2 to 3 years after the bachelor's if you want to become a nurse practitioner like myself, or a nurse educator, or just having your master's in nursing. And then if you want to do doctorates, that's even more years of schooling. But it's good to know how many years you have to invest in order to get to your goal. So another question about finding the right school is knowing the classroom structure that is good for you, right? So you can either have 2 ways. There's 2 ways that you can do nursing classes. You could do them online, or you could do them in class. But you need to know what's good for you, right? If you're that student who needs like the support of your peers, and you want people to be there, and that conversation of, oh, do you know what class is next, or do you know what homework is up, and all of it, you need a classroom, right? Because there's a camaraderie, there's that connection. But if you're that independent student and you like to go it yourself, and you have discipline, and you know computers, then by all means, online is for you. Also, if you don't have time, if you're working, if you have a family, online is really optimal for people like that. But there are downsides to each one, so you have to be aware of that too. The online one is, again, if you're disciplined, if you're the kind of person who doesn't remember things, it's harder because you won't have a classmate or a teacher who's constantly reminding you every class what is due. You're going to have to remember it's a set time, a set date, and there are no signals and reminders. Right? And there's also no communication, really. You don't see your classmates, you don't necessarily see your teachers, you really don't have that tangible aspect of the nursing, the peer relations. For the class, however, if you're working and you really can't be in a classroom at a certain time because you have other responsibilities, then that's not for you, right? So you really have to know where the school is located, right? Close to you, far away, need to know that. How much time is spent in clinical rotations? You need to know that you have to set time apart for the classes and for clinicals. And sometimes clinicals are different times of the day and different days of the week. They're not the same times as the classes. So you have to take into account both. And how must you find your own clinical site? That's another thing. This is a question, both the clinical rotation and must you find your own clinical site is something for online classes. Because they're online and you do not go to a certain location, they're usually far away, like in, I don't know, Texas or Florida. If you're not in those locations, that might be a problem. So they might tell you to find a site in your area, for example, New York, and you have to be the one to find your clinical site. You have to go and speak to the administrators and speak to the hospital and find a place that will take you to be able to practice nursing. That could be a problem. But if you can do that, go ahead for it. The next one is considering nursing school rankings, right? So knowing which schools are best, right, by the graduation rate, how many people pass their NCLEX. We're going to see it later on the city website and the state website. They show you the rankings, so you kind of can figure out, depending on how they rank, which schools are better and which one you might have a better chance of graduating from and having the information to pass your NCLEX. I have had schools where or students who come from schools where they're learning the information all on their own, and that's really difficult. So that's it's a lower passing rate, right? The other thing is, what is the passing rate? What is it like? Is it 75 or is it 85? So you know, if it's 75, then it's not as intense. But if it's 85, you're going to have to study quite a lot. So you have to know your potential and what you're able to deliver, right? In order to choose which school you're going to. The next one is verifying the state approval and accreditation. Of all the things I'm going to say to you today, that is the most important, because you will go through 4 years of college, or okay, 1 year of college, and pay thousands of dollars. And in the end, you will not be a nurse. You will not be able to practice because you cannot sit for your boards. Once the state approves a school and they are accredited, that means the state is in agreement with the kind of education they've provided for you, and they know that you are not going to kill anyone. So they put their seal behind your name. So if they can't do that for a school, then they will not allow you to sit for the board. So you definitely have to find that out. And the way to do that is really easy. You just call the board of nursing and you ask them, I'm going to this school. Is this school accredited? Can I sit for the boards after I'm done? But I tell people, do that every year. Every semester, mind you, because truly every year they have to go through accreditation, but some things might happen throughout the semester that might cause issues, right? Like people suing maybe, and that might cause them to have problems and they might lose accreditation. So always ask before you start the semester if the school is A-okay. So you can verify the board approving with the database on their website. You also have to consider the college career placement programs. Some schools guarantee to give you a job once you graduate. I actually went to school in Massachusetts, and if I had lived in Massachusetts, I was guaranteed to get a job at UMass, University Hospital or something like that. So I think NYU does it and Columbia does it. When I work in the hospital, sometimes I meet students who have been in those schools and now they work in those hospitals. So look for that as well. And then there's the loan forgiveness scholarships, right? So knowing that mostly all schools can do this, but knowing about it is important. And also knowing the places that you work, if they will give you this, because that might mean the difference between you going to school for 2 years straight or having to have a lapse because you don't have the money to pay for it. If your job can help you pay for it, or if you can get a scholarship or loan forgiveness, you pay out of pocket and somebody else pays afterwards, that'll be great. I wish I knew that before I spent all the money that I did. But unfortunately, I didn't, and I had to pay out of pocket. So the next point, so now here is, if you can take a screenshot, or I'm going to give you my information later, and you can definitely call me and text me and email me at any time. But these are the websites any nursing student must know, right? Because they will tell you whether the school is accredited or not, and they will tell you whether you're able to sit for the boards or not. They will tell you how to apply for the nursing NCLEX, like how to take different sample tests. Like there's so much great information on these websites. For more information on how to register for classes and get help from our tutoring center, visit www.gab-nictutor.com. That is www.gabnicnursingtutor.com. To view our free or paid classes, sign up on www.thinkific.com. That's www.thinkific.com, and register for the pre-recorded classes of your choice after searching for the Gab-Nic Tutoring Center uploads. We offer in-person tutoring and Zoom calls. You can also find us on YouTube for more free classes and tips on how to do better in nursing. We are also on Facebook, where we upload articles, tips, and tricks on how you can make your journey to becoming a nurse smooth and near effortless. Did I mention Instagram? Basically, we are everywhere. So check us out or call 917-602-9927 and we will tell you just how to join. See you soon.